Hey you, I'm the Queen of Shade. Welcome to the interview. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, oh, and hit my Cash App to support your favorite content creator. Now let's get to the interview. Mwah.
Let me tell you something. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too.
Salutations to foes. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming to you with another special presentation. Moving full speed ahead, talking to very interesting people from the internet and the world, and getting to know their stories is just an amazing experience. And having said this, I have someone else that you need to meet. It is an honor to bring this person to my camera today, because this person has been with me since I first turned on my camera on YouTube, since I first cracked the sound waves of the internet with my single note. This person, she has been in my corner, and the years have gone by. We're not gonna say how many, but it's over 12, about 15. Okay, I told them, but it's been it's been a long time coming. And now it is an honor to be able to sit down with all the time in the world and a full battery and be able to talk to you guys and reminisce and talk about where we are, where we're going, and where we've been. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the priestess, whom we call Yannick Taylor.
Oh my gosh, thank you for a lovely introduction.
Honey, it was needed. It was needed. We go way back.
This has been a long time coming. And I am just honored and humbled to be on such a great platform that I have watched take off and take the world by storm. And you all, the Queen of Shade and I go way back, way back. So I'm just proud of you. I am proud of you. And I will tell people this everywhere I go. This is the mentor. She is the reason why I'm the woman that I am today. So
let me tell you something. I am the creature that I am, because, you know, two-spirited. I am the creature that I am today because it was your encouragement and people like you that said, you've got something special. And you said, don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. That was over 15 years.
Yes.
And I listened because at that time, you were already popping and sizzling and talking to people and interviewing, singing and doing arrangements. You were doing so much. You were already out there. I was just an emerging caterpillar. And then to cocoon, and it took me, listen, I'm one of them late butterflies. It took me 15 years to cocoon. But I did it. And now I'm out here. And then you find out, oh, it was a cocoon, but it wasn't a butterfly. It's a phoenix. It's a mythical bird of fire.
Come on, come on. Preach to the children.
Here to set the world on fire and restore spirituality to the LGBTQIA+ plus community. They try to tell us that we're godless. But baby, we are the most and the closest to God that any being has ever been, short of the angels.
You better preach in here. I just need a organ in the key of B flat right about now. Good B3 hand
listen,
off of that.
Well, listen, we getting ready to go into the fact of your B flat. Please tell these illustrious people where you went to school.
Well, yours truly. I've obtained my bachelor's in music from Winthrop University.
Yes.
Winthrop Eagles for life.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see not only myself, but many other artists come out of Winthrop.
Yeah.
And seeing that the hard work is paying off now. But that was my humble beginnings. And during my time at Winthrop, that's when I started doing YouTube in the masculine. Yeah. And I will never forget the first song that I did was Encourage Yourself by Donald Lawrence. And I just posted it on a whim, and boom, I became, at that time, this is before YouTube is like it is now.
Yeah.
I had a substantial following, and even after college, when adulthood hit, I still kept it up, still did my covers, and the Queen of Shade was encouraging me on covers to do. And I think one of my favorite covers that I have done yet, and one of the most popular, which I now have that video on private for specific reasons, was Sylvester's "You Make Me Feel Mighty Real." That and one of my Clark Sisters impersonations. So if the Clark Sisters is watching this, big shout out to the Clark Sisters. I got to give it up to the head honcho, though, the late Dr. Magnus Clark and Twinkie Clark. Though, thank you.
You're going to enjoy this tidbit. I'm not religious anymore, but when I was a child of 10 years old, when I was a child of 10 years old, I joined this little church, and I was so angry because we lived in the suburbs at that point. And my grandmother and my uncle were kind of our custodial guardians. And they would make us drive 45 minutes to an hour, both ways, to go to this little church in the ghetto. But it was something about that little church. Let me tell you something. My assistant pastor helped to raise the Clark sisters. They came to our church all the time. Vicki Winans, Daryl Coley, all of these people. But let me tell you, Twinkie came, and my assistant pastor kept trying to get her to preach, but you know, Twinkie is good on the keys, but she gave us a little squall before she ran back to that keyboard, that organ. But
she's good for it.
Karen, I as a young child, sang with Dorinda. She came and filmed. She did a filming, like they were doing a filming and a recording. And my choir, the mass choir of B.M. Oakley Memorial Temple Church of God in Christ, we backed her. I come from an illustrious church.
Come on, Koji.
Singers. When I tell you singers, another assistant pastor, Alice Martin. When I tell you she toured with Mother Marion Williams, who sang in The Color Purple. She sang the score for The Color Purple, not the score.
They sure did.
The main theme. She was awarded the Kennedy Honors. She received that before she died, and took my pastor at that time with her.
This is music history.
We've got musical history.
Yes.
Right here. And I remember how much you loved Dorinda. Dorinda is your girl forever.
All day long. All day long.
Forever. Like you would always, and I loved it because I saw something you did recently, and it was like, well, if such and such sang this, and I forget which Clark sister it was. No, it was Aretha Franklin. You said Aretha Franklin sang this song. And I sat and I listened, and I said, this is why this young woman is educated in music.
Oh, yes.
You see, my voice was forged in the church, yes, but I even had to step away and listen to other things to make my sound whole. But one thing I like about you, you always stay true to your gospel roots.
Yes.
You sing other things, but you always know how to go back to your gospel roots.
Oh, it's in me, even though at this point in my life, I'm no longer religious, nor do I follow the path of Christianity. Still believe in Yahweh, still believe in him.
Right.
But through recent experiences and me coming of age as a woman, in my transition and transitioning while in ministry, I have a whole new perspective on who God is, what God is and is not, and that translates through my music. But I've started writing and composing in the totality of me. So I have some things in the works. But I did a little bit of a song, Prince Charming. And that came out of a night of listening. I was listening to Aretha Franklin, in case you forgot. But it also listened to Vanessa Bell Armstrong, that gospel.
Lord.
And I said, I'm gonna take them to church on this.
Yeah.
And while dealing with issues in the church, wrote another song that captivated my soul and added a little bit of queer history and Black queer lingo in it, in what they call reading and throwing shade at my lover in the song. So said singing different things, but gospel is my root. Gospel is my root, because you can hear the gospel chorus throughout my music. And I'm like, even if I may, even with sustaining, there's a biblical based theme in that as well. So it's like, okay. And I've learned, as you have learned, God manifests in different ways. They manifest in different ways. And the reason why I say it's hard to categorize the entity that created us. That's why music is the way it is.
Yes. Yes. It's so, there's a broad spectrum, and it can be whatever you want it to be. It took me a long time. I was getting ready for this interview today, and what I love about music, and see, I can have this conversation with you because you're a true musician. You know the chords. I don't read music, but you know the chords. You know how to build and how to compose and how to create actual music. I hear it in my ears, but you actually sit down like Beethoven and Bach and Chopin and actually compose music. I was getting ready for today, and I was reminded that music from all different parts of our lives can help us to remember good times.
Come on.
Yeah, even when we go through something traumatic, there are songs we listen to during that time to help us get through. And as I was preparing, okay. And as I was preparing, I teleported myself back to a time when I was in high school, and I was in my junior year, and I was getting ready to run the Penn relays. And everybody, get it, let me tell you, everybody had their let's get crunk music on. And I was listening to Maxwell's Embra album. I put that album on today for the first time in 22, 23 years.
Oh, wow.
And I was teleported back to a time when, yes, the home life was difficult, but I was most in tune with myself. I knew I liked boys. It was before the nervous breakdown. It was before college. I wasn't telling anybody, but I knew what I liked. I had that moment of self-assurity and self-awareness. And Maxwell's album was the soundtrack of that self-awareness, that moment in my life. And I'm listening to the different tracks: Gravity, Coco Cure, You Shouldn't Know These
Classic album.
What? Classic. Iconic. It was so iconic that I had to look the man up and see where he is today. He is touring the world, adoring fans.
Yes.
He is still very much thriving because
very much so,
because of his music. Go ahead, you can add to this, because I can tell you just.
It's funny that you mentioned Maxwell. Music for me in the last year has been my place. That's me. And you said something about music transporting you, especially when you've dealt with trauma. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
So with recent things that have happened in my life, and much you'll hear on my podcast.
Right. Tell her, what's the name of it? Plug it.
Conversations with the Priestess.
That's right. Where can we find it?
I'm doing a series called Diary of a Church Girl. So you will hear a lot of explanation behind what we discussed tonight.
Okay.
So with the recent trauma that I've experienced and constant disappointment, which led to my exodus out of the church.
Yeah.
I put on, it's funny because I did a cover of this on TikTok, Miss Seeley's Blues.
Oh.
I went back to my late grandmother's house, in her living room and in her bedroom, and I could smell that childhood smell. And I remember watching The Color Purple, that particular scene. And I recall Not only that, but listening to old school John Key took me back to that place, and just music, finding that love for music again. And it's funny that all of these classes are now coming back again with new things concerning those architects that created us in childhood and our love for music. And it does transport you back to a place, especially when, excuse me, one of the most classic gospel albums that I will absolutely love, well, actually this collection of albums, is the Walter Hawkins Love Alive series. And for those of my younger ones that don't understand the influence of the late Bishop Walter Hawkins, ooh, baby, one in particular, Lady Tremaine Hawkins, he's that kind of friend.
She used to come to my church too.
Yeah, obliterated. And it's funny, I used to see, we used to have Shirley Caesar come a lot.
She was my pastor's best friend. They're still friends.
Exactly, like a lot of gospel artists I've met while singing with other groups. And I'm amazed to see how big they have gotten. Ooh. And someone from my high school said, I always thought she would be very big in music. I said, baby, I'm big in music, but I'm hitting with a purpose for right now, because there was a metamorphosis I had to go through.
Yeah.
You know, so, and music does transport you to a place, even in your feelings. Yeah. When you write out your feelings and the similes and metaphors come together, which I've really gotten into Kendrick Lamar, his latest album, and diversifying my profile now, especially as we get in tune with our Blackness.
Yes. You know, what I realize and what everyone needs to realize and what I try to resist is this old adage: the best recording artists, mm-hmm. the best singers, the best performers of music, they come from the church. Even me with my difference of sound, my pop sound, I can actually, like, people hear me do pop, but I can actually sing.
Yes.
And I don't. And it's like, I sing pop, but I can give you No Cross, No Crown.
Y'all, look, I'm gonna tell you about the Queen of
Grace.
I'm gonna tell y'all about the Queen of Shade. Now, this is in a different YouTube time and continuum, but it was a couple covers. She had me shook, and I was like, I don't. You and Duran Bernard had me intimidated on this app. I ain't gonna lie. I said, okay, let me learn. No, that's one thing about artists, we learn from each other.
Yes, we do. I was getting ready to say that. And listen, look at where he is now, touring with Erykah Badu, knows everybody. I love him. He is like, I love him, Duran Bernard. He just took a picture with the cinematic Josephine Baker, Lynn Whitfield, the other day, and her daughter. And I'm just like, you are such royalty. Look at where that man is. And and one thing I love about him is that he remained himself.
Exactly.
He's himself in every space that man walks into. He walks into it as himself. And that inspired me to be me.
Exactly. And it says something when you can be authentic to yourself. I have met celebrities, local, national. I have worked in spaces that have allowed me to have access to big names. And I'm not saying that bragging, but we were always taught as church kids, despise not small beginnings, but your gift will make room for you. And I know people take that out of context. I can preach a whole series on that. But when you create your gift out of authenticity, that allows the universe, the ancestors, God, to do what they need to do to open up the door. And I've met so many celebrities, people, and especially me being a former pastor, running into big names in ministry and being in a space where I can deal with them on that friends level. And you're like, whoa, I expected something different. But when you're around authentic people, you'll see why they have the following. And I'm loving that music is getting back to that. Now, granted, we do have the industry machines.
Yes.
And everybody sounds the same. And that's what I love about our genre of artists, our group of artists, and particularly Black and brown people.
Yes.
I love how we're making our voices heard. We can't conform.
Yeah, I love that too. And I want to go even one layer deeper, especially artists that are LGBTQIAP+.
Mm.
We are a vast community around the world. And I don't know two artists from our community that sound exactly the same.
Exactly. That's why I love Dominique Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love Dominique Morgan. And I've found so many new artists that happen to be of community.
Yeah.
And I'm loving what I'm seeing. And going back to the days as a trans woman and not, we can go and let me know if I'm taking over.
Take over. Take over.
So, and it's funny that we mentioned transformation, even with music and artists in community.
Yes.
It's so many people in community that want to make it big.
Yes.
And are scared. Baby, don't you be scared.
Don't be scared.
If I still have the videos up. If I stood boldly in Washington, D.C. as a Black trans woman doing praise and worship in the year of Beyonce 2022.
Yes.
Don't nobody know how scared and fearful I was.
Yeah.
Of getting jumped in and out of the church.
Yeah.
Baby, I stood up there and did it. You have to do that as an artist now. Yeah. You have a voice. And thankfully, in the last 10, 15 years, the game has changed so much for us, especially those of us that do not present in the binary.
Yes.
Under that trans umbrella, I'm excited for us seeing how women like Angelica Ross,
yes,
Michaela J. Rodriguez,
yes,
eating up everything. I'm loving how we're seeing, even in local communities, we're seeing all of these Black and brown people pushing, changing the narrative, adding to the narrative.
Yes, you know, and there are so many names that we could call, but Billy Porter, Dominique Jackson. Let me even go a little deeper. Laith Ashley, because he's a recording artist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I'm loving us. Like, we are a community that has been oppressed like many communities in the world. But it's that old adage, they can't stamp us out. We offer too much. We come
way too much.
Yeah, we come bringing way too much to the table for them to stamp us out.
Exactly. And one thing I've learned, Queen of Shade, you've learned this as well. When people see that you are gifted in what all you offer, baby, you got some people that will try to ride that coattail, only to get what they need and then drop you. But they're gonna make sure that you're not in competition. Yeah. Well, baby, if it was ordained for me to do this, baby, what you teach me and what you do is just gonna make me. Yeah. They forget I am a compass. Yeah. We're compasses. And everything, I look at it like this, the energy that we give, we can take that, convert that energy into something and take that to the bank. Yes. And we're sustained off of that.
Like we're doing.
Hello.
Like we're doing. And look at this. Look at the number of us that are no longer afraid to do it. We're no longer fearful. You know, I remember that. Even with all that I'm doing, I just cracked TikTok today with my voice, and I mean my singing voice. And immediately there's this overwhelming, oh my God, you're not even auto-tuned, because I'm singing from my soul. And I must admit that even with my singing voice knowledge, I offer you my understanding. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, if you do your research, you'll find that I'm an international recording artist. And it's not something that, I don't know what the devil did.
You're still there?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know what that was. I said, listen, Bell.
I'm mad, but I'm an elbow dropping.
But it's not the first thing that I offer.
Exactly.
It tends to be the last, but so many people that are in my circle these days, they're like, baby, your voice is it. Your voice. Yes, you have, like my grandmother said to me last night, yes, you have wisdom. Yes, you have knowledge at turning 40 in September. And it's like, yes, you have
Come on.
right. You have that. But she said, baby, it's that sound.
Mm-hmm.
That sound. That's and she like I looked at her and I was like, that's what I have to get insured. And she was like, yes, your voice is it. And she reminded me, you speak to all these people around the world. You're talking to them through this instrument.
Exactly.
She said, baby, the world knows you by sound first before they even know you by sight. And I was like,
Exactly.
you
And
know,
that's true.
it's so humbling,
Mm-hmm.
extremely humbling.
It
And
is.
I'm just so thankful that with all that's going on and all the levels that I'm bossing up here and jumping and kicking bosses and one-upping in this game, that humility is still there. Because,
Exactly.
yeah, because at the core of that, I'm a good person. I just want to do good. I just want to be good. And that is my agenda. I've learned that, I've learned that, you know, fortune and notoriety and all of these things, they are byproducts of the hard work. Here we go. I'm getting ready to go. Of your
Come
tilling
on.
around in the vineyard. They are byproducts of that. And I've also learned not to chase them because they will come. Look at how long we've been doing this.
Mm. Come
look,
on, come on.
look at how look just right here is a
I'm sorry.
testimony.
That's the Koji coming out. I'm sorry.
I'm trying not to do it to you.
Look, look. Oh, it's in us. We can't do nothing
Yes,
about it.
yes. It's just I've learned that these things are byproducts. If you continue, listen, I've learned you could have not a dime to your name and do this. If you keep doing it, you will get a dime.
I'm a
It's
living witness.
get it. It's inevitable because you don't stop. It's
Exactly. Don't stop the
it's
grind.
it's it literally is. Keep going down the street and you're gonna run smack into it.
Exactly. And in the growth process, I learned that it's not always comfortable. And one thing I learned, and I had questions,
Mhm,
and I kept asking God. I said, "Well, God, what's up? What's up? What's up, man? What's up?"
mhm,
And it wasn't until I let go of certain people and certain
mhm.
atmospheres that's when doors have opened up. Not only am I a singer songwriter,
Yeah,
somewhat of a producer,
yeah.
and all of these things, but I'm also active in community.
Yes.
I'm also executive assistant
Yeah.
um, for Visible T365. I'm a voice actress, and I'm a spiritual being, and I love giving people my auntie wisdom
Yes.
and offering. That's what people know me first is to my wisdom, but what they really know me first from is not just music, but me walking in certain ministerial spaces, and it's that light.
Yeah.
And staying humble is important because I've never been the type, and this is why I don't fit in with certain groups of people, that is all about me. I
Yeah.
have to step on you to make myself look good. No, 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 no. I told my best friend, I said, best friend, we all are talented.
Yeah.
If I eat, we eat.
Mhm.
And I stopped saying that to certain people. Certain people you can't feed at your table because they're the enemies.
Yeah.
But you have to be thankful for your enemies, because without any enemies, God can't prepare that table, because he said, I will prepare you a table in front of your enemies. Why are you going to kill off all your enemies and make God a lie? If he said he going to prepare a table in front of your enemies, stop trying to kill them off. They've got to survive, because they're going to see your feast and you're going to be the one to show them, hey, you can make it over too. It may be from afar,
Yeah.
because they won't be able to admit that you were right, but it's okay, because the truth plays out in the end.
My grandmother sent me an affirmation the other morning, and it said, your enemies, let 2 or 3 of them live. so that they can go back and report to headquarters.
And it's crazy. I don't know if you were there to see this, but I went through a period where I actually had to name drop some names in high places.
Oh, I didn't see.
And it hurt. It's private now.
Okay.
It hurt for me to name drop those people.
Yeah.
But I told someone, I made this bold declaration: whenever you leave a place, don't bash it. But if there was misuse, abuse, you were mishandled, or you were violated, baby, don't be scared to drop them names. I don't care how public you have to go.
Yeah.
Because you have to, one, protect your voice. Then you have to use your voice. Mm-hmm. But I remained humble throughout it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because I remember your years in ministry and being a pastor. Like, you were very committed to totality, like the entire time. And my God, to hear that you had to step away. But get this, part of me knew you would have to, in order to become fully who the divine created you to be. I said that to my grandmother this morning. I said, because she's not conventional. So I said to her, you know, I couldn't imagine sitting in a place every week again, learning and being brainwashed to believe the same things over and over and over. And she looked at me and I said, I think for myself. I have always thought for myself. This got me in trouble in the congregation because I thought for myself. I've always thought for myself. I'm not one that needs to be led. Here we go, the Bible. I'm not one that needs to be led with bit and bridle. I'm not that. I'm not a horse. I'm not cattle. I'm not a sheep. Like I don't claim that. I'm not a sheep, honey. I'm more of a deer, because if you get on my nerves, you get these horns. I'm beautiful. I'm stoic, but I'm nobody's sheep. I can defend myself. And
come on.
I went even further than that and found out, no, baby, you're not just a deer. You see these sheep? You're the shepherd dog. You're the one that runs around and you got teeth to defend these babies.
Come on now,
because Jesus is the shepherd. So you be the shepherd dog and you run around and you keep them in line, and I love that, because that's non-denominational. That's just human. That's just
exactly. And, we're church girls, y'all. We're church kids. So you know, this is our conversation.
It's our conversation.
and one thing I learned, I'm unconventional. One thing, and that's what bothered people about me being in the church. And because my thought process is totally different, because I look at things a little bit deeper. And so many times people love to use the analogy of the sheep for, certain purposes. But I said, no, baby, I can't think of myself as a sheep. Baby, I'm like that eagle. I'm surveying and watching, but I'm wise when I touch down. Yeah. So you have to be wise like that, but also you have to know the mentality of a serpent as well, because it was a serpent that wreaked havoc in the Garden of Eden. But it taught us, see, you have to think like the serpent sometimes. In all of our circles, we have a snake that's our friend. Yeah. And they bite us. Yeah. Once they get what they wanted out of us. Yeah. But I don't think of it as venomous. That was a lesson, because you now learn the tactics of a particular snake. Yeah. And you'll be able to watch. That's why you got to keep your grass trimmed. And that's what gets me about a lot of these high name celebrities. Yeah. You have too many people accessing you. Yeah. And that is the nature of the music industry. And as women, it's very difficult, especially for Black women, Black trans women. In the last few years, I've had so many people come up to me and say, hey, I want to work with you. But the conversation turns away from business to the fetishization of my body. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to sleep with you
to get ahead.
Now, I'm not opposed to, hey, I'm going to have to work to get this money, but I'm not going to sleep for a name. Yeah. Because let's be honest, some of us didn't have to sell sex, a little bit more than sex, and sell music at the same time. Right. look, don't be ashamed, baby. But
Don't be
everybody has
ashamed.
these isms, and it's like, I'm gonna be a leader,
Yeah, not a follower.
not a follower.
Not a follower. You know, even as you were speaking, it made me smile because I did this podcast last night. It was spur of the moment. And I was speaking to my grandmother, and I do this a lot because, she's very wise. She's very evolved and very unconventional in her thinking. She always taught me you have to think beyond outside the box. And so I ran upstairs and left her for 30 minutes because that's how long my podcasts are, usually 30 minutes. So the title of it was called "The Streets of Paris Are Soaked with My Tears." And the reason why is because 17 years ago, I voyaged to Paris as a fashion model, and it was very, 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 very hard. Homeless in America, staying with a gorgeous man in Paris. It was so hard. For the first time, now I said this in the podcast, when I got to Paris was when I bought my copy of Mariah Carey's Butterfly album. And I remember listening to that album, and she had this song towards the end called Outside. And she said, "You'll always be somewhere on the outside." And I felt that. She always talked about not having a place. And I talked about this because I was also very manic in my mental health.
Yes.
So get this, I'm listening to this as I'm walking around Paris in every arrondissement, every single borough. I'm crying uncontrollably. My tears are hitting the ground of Paris everywhere. I literally walk the whole city because it's a circular city. You can't get lost. Very vast. But people need to understand when you're bipolar and you get the walk.
Exactly.
I walked all day. I walked all night. It was quite a traumatic experience. But what I realized is because my tears are there, I have claim to the city. I have claim to the streets of Paris. So I said in the podcast, it's not that I made a mistake going to France and had to come home. It's just that I was 17 years too early.
Come on.
Exactly 17 years early. Now is my time.
Exactly.
I went and I saw, I made connections, but my time is now.
Come on.
And I'm like, God, so it let me know that the divine will set you in a place and tell you, you belong here. This is yours. It's going to be amazing and terrific. But he does not mean that moment and that second. He doesn't mean that year. He doesn't mean that 5 years. He doesn't mean that 10 years. 17. Like, it messed my head up to say, I was supposed to go to Paris. The city is mine. I just was 17 years ahead of my time.
Come on. It's funny because I remember as a child in church, I had a local promoter try to offer me a record deal. But my parents wouldn't go for it. I was too young.
Yeah.
Got to be a kid first.
Yeah.
So I've had other opportunities to come forward, but it wasn't the right opportunities, wasn't the right doors, because it seemed like I would have to leave and boom, scandal will hit those particular entities. And it got so common nature that spirit was saying, look, baby, it's about to be a scandal. I need you to leave.
Yeah.
Or that door had beginning. It's always a discomfort before a door closes that was not meant for you. It was only to just get you where you are.
Yeah.
Or you had an assignment in those places.
Yeah.
So now I had been shopping to independent labels.
Yeah.
And got a response from a couple, haven't heard back. I said, it's cool. Because what I'm going to do in the meantime, I'm going to keep working on my brand and they're going to want to call me. Yeah. But baby, I just took some of your artists. But anyway, I ain't gonna do that. But things happen. But this move to DC was imperative for me,
Mm-hmm.
because if it had not been through the good, the bad, and the ugly, I would not have found myself.
Yeah.
And I asked God, I said, parent,
Yeah.
why did it take this long?
Mm-hmm.
Spirit said, you're right where I need you to be.
Yeah.
Stop listening to everybody else. Shut your own self up. You're right where I need you to be, because people need you for a time such as this.
Yeah. I was watching, I forget what I was watching. I want to quote it, but I got to remember what it was. I think yes. Prince Derek Dahl. He said it in my interview with him, the conversation the other day. He said, we ask God, why so early, or why so late? Why is it taking so long? Prince Derek Dahl said, because the story is not ready.
Exactly.
See, everybody wants the glitz and the glamour. Baby, no. The story that has to go out has to be ready. Because that story alone is going to be what people invest in. Who are you?
Exactly. And I'm telling you, once you listen to Diary of a Church Girl, you're going to hear a lot. And just the experience that people go through.
Yes.
As creatives.
Yes.
As being too spirited. And
yes.
We pay for it. Yeah. We pay for it. It's its own. I tell people it's its own era. I'm not going to even call it a hell, but it's its own atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of the best songs I have written when I was in Lodabar.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all, for all of my biblical and religious scholars out there, Lodabar was a place that was deserted. It had nothing there. But Jonathan's son Mephibosheth was in Lodabar because of an accident that happened during a time of war. I'm not going to go into the story, but read your Bible. But Mephibosheth had been dropped. Yeah. And he was in this low place. But David came because he had swore by Jonathan, I got a blessing for you. Yeah. That's how it is with a lot of us. We're in that low place, but God said, look, I'm still going to bless you, because here, while you're in this low place, I'm going to give you this song. I'm going to give you this idea. Yeah. I want you to write it and perfect it, because this is going to help somebody else come out of Lodabar. There are people watching you in your circle. They know that you're in Lodabar, but I can't allow them to help you because this is your experience, because they really need your help, but they can't access you. Because no matter where you are, God is going to use you, just like he used the cult. Yeah. Yeah. In the Bible. Yeah. Yeah. God used Rahab. Yeah. And excuse me for the terminology. Yes. Used her. Yeah. So why can't God use individuals like us? Exactly. Exactly. So, and what I love about it is the more and more that we are putting out to the world, that we are accepted, we are in, we're not out, the more people are starting to realize, Queen, Priestess, you're right. We belong. Do you know how powerful it is for our community to be in a silent place or a low place, like you just said, and have realization happen? I belong. The physiological change and the mental change that happens once you start to believe I belong. And watch, when you come to that realization, certain people are going. There's a saying that my sibling and I have. With elevation comes separation. I always hated that, but now I see it. With elevation, it's got to be a separation, not just from people, but from any and everything that serves a hindrance, even if it's trauma, your own self, because sometimes you got to kick your own self out the boat and be like, girl, you are interfering right now. And thank God that I've gotten to that place and I've gotten settled. Yeah. I am so settled in the woman that I am and the artist that I am now. Yes. I'm over to critique now, because I used to didn't like critique. But when you come from a place, you know everybody's critique ain't. Exactly. So, and I thank God for you, because you taught me so much about the industry as well. And with your wisdom,
Mm.
It was some things that you said about learning how to fly,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't see a bird talking to an ant.
Mm.
I believe that's the analogy. I said, baby, if you can't grind with me, then we can't lay up. Because last time I checked, I'm up here flying like a bird in the
Yeah.
sky, and you an ant. The only time I'm going to acknowledge an ant as a bird is if I'm finna eat you for dinner.
Yes. You better say it.
So I'm gonna eat you for dinner.
You're my food.
And show you I'm balls.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to do people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a beautiful, beautiful moment, because what we realize is that our industry is very small.
Very, very small.
Very small. And the companies and people, they become familiar with us because they've seen us for such a long time. They know we're coming. They know what we do. And it's just like, they want to, it's almost as a sick joke, because they want to see if you're going to be true to yourself, or if you're going to sell yourself to the highest bidder. And we've talked about this because I was terrified of people owning me, but I did not have the capital to own myself. That was the issue. And I went for many years. I have 20 years in this business, starting as a model, moving into music, moving and continuing to move. I have 20 years under my belt. And, trying out for American Idol and modeling agencies. And it seemed like when an opportunity would present itself, it was never a partnership. It was a totality of ownership of me.
Exactly.
And my grandmama will tell you, since I was a little boy, I own me. I was quick to tell you, this right here,
I own me.
This is me. What I do with this is my business. And, it took me, and I still haven't wrapped my head around it. But for lack of a better term, industries like the fashion community, and I'm not going to say the fashion community, but the modeling community, the modeling agency community, you're farming people for your clients. You're farming and branding and fashioning people. You have to have this. You have to look this. Your thighs need to be this far apart. Your muscles need to be this. Your legs need to be that. You're farming people and then serving them up to your clients.
Exactly.
I tried so long for that, and then realized I can't do that. I like in me. I can't, Priestess. I won't.
Right.
I can't. I like, it's so funny because I'm stuttering because my mind is still trying to grapple with the idea, and my priestliness is like, no, like it won't even let that in as an option. It's not even an option. It's not a plan B. It's not a in case I get in trouble. It's not conceivable to me.
And look, you can't, one thing I learned, this is what I learned, as a former church girl.
Yes.
Because we are unconventional, and because of who we are, it can't fit in certain boxes. And seeing how even in religious circles, they farm people, they shape them and make them this type of protege and send them out, and you see it crash and burn.
Yeah.
And in this time that I've stepped away from ministry, I found out that it's not the people in the church and not the people in the industry. It's the ones that people look over.
Yeah.
And disregard. And I take model from Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I take model from him.
Yeah.
Because when he released Bible of Love,
yeah,
it was like, ooh, I'm sorry, it stuck with me better than Kanye, no shade. But it was just something about how he has all these things together. It's like, okay, so what? Okay, I'm focused over here
Yeah.
because I'm too booked and busy
Yeah.
to mind other people's business. I just took another 9 to 5. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to hold that up within the first month because I'm booked and busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm elated at how we got out of those respective industries and
Yeah.
said, you know, I'm gonna make my own way because I can still model.
Yeah. Yes, I can.
And what's ironic, the same people or the opportunities that we thought were missed or broken opportunities, God has granted us much better.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's coming, but you got to stay faithful. Stay faithful to yourself.
Yep.
Got to stay faithful to yourself.
Keep saying no. Keep saying no. No. Now I'm talking to people and I have friends all over the world, coutures. They send me Priceless Couture and all of these things. And it's like, you got that because you stayed true to yourself and built your brand. They respect your brand. Like I had some people, because this YouTube platform is new. It's new. I shut down what I had before. This is brand new since November. That's all, just since November.
I remember.
Okay, there were years of videos and covers and things on there. But people coming to the platform are like, she don't have that many views. So then how is she sitting down talking to all of these amazing people? Baby, because I have their respect. They know me. They've seen me. They've seen me grind. They know who I am. You're late. I'm not.
Hello. I will never forget. I participated in an event, Transtech Social, and I was actually one of the facilitators dealing with sex work and healing, and life before, during, and after sex work, and to work with an array of people, and the organization is headed by the illustrious Angelica Ross.
Yes.
Gotta give kudos to her, and being able to say that I know people that saw me.
Yes.
And even on the Bigo Live platform, having my own, I was actually a co-host of a show with a friend, and just having that opportunity to build and doing the whole church thing. We're talking about real life as we're talking now. I had the little whoop tracks in the background, and that was different because someone said, you're making a mockery of church. No. We're not making a mockery, because in Black culture, this is church. This is how we act.
Yeah.
And just standing in that authenticity is what gravitates those people to us. But we also have to have the business mind as well.
Yeah.
That's why certain interviews that I've gone after, it was okay that I didn't get them.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
God has allowed me to meet with other people.
Yeah.
And some of the stages I've shared, even with big names in the trans activist community, in the music industry and creativity industry, as I'm with now.
Yeah.
My mentor, the person that I learned from, and just carrying that on today. And I took a formula that you gave me years ago and made it work.
Yes.
Made it work. And I said, child, people don't want to hear my wisdom. I want to hear that. But now that I'm doing it, I'm like,
the response.
Oh, y'all hear me? Y'all listen to me? Okay.
Yes.
And just, I don't do it for the money. Yes, the money is nice, but I do this for the love of it.
I'm your mentor, right?
Yes. I have that money.
We do this for the money.
Hello. I love having
mentor, right?
Run me my coin.
I'm your mentor. Run me my money. You hear me?
Look, you in this. Okay,
we do this for the money, baby.
Hello, and this is what I told people when I did OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I still have some things up in that arena. No shame. Hey.
Yes, no shame, no shade. Yeah.
I have places that I got to go. Yes. And if I have to do that, baby, but just don't hit me up for in-person meetups. No, just unless it's gonna bring income. I'm sorry. Don't. My inbox is for business only.
Do you know what I love? I love that The divine is using me to usher in a spotlight and a platform for people that are not je ne sais quoi. They're not perfect. But get this, by whose standards? We're just trying to live. We're just trying to move. We're just trying to have our beings. And yes, we make decisions. And yes, we do things. Please, listen, let me tell you something. You know this. I've been celibate for 10 years. But in 10 years, I have collected pornography. I have collected, what else? I have collected pornography and I have collected men in 10 years. So that even when I decide to break my 10 years of celibacy, child, I ain't got to look.
Look.
Like I love the totality of who we are. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the old way of industry, the old entertainment industry only showed you one dimension of the artist. Today, we are so blessed to have so many artists, and some artists like Beyonce who have translated, because she comes from old school, and then translated to where they're able to effortlessly show us more of themselves, a more well-rounded picture. She didn't have to tell us about her father. She didn't have to tell us about forming her own company. She didn't have to tell us about her marriage. She didn't have to tell us about anything, but she chose to do that on her terms. And what I love about it was on her terms, the way she said it. One thing,
exactly.
Everybody focused on the elevator situation. We're not going there because I don't follow the gossip, but I love how she got in the song and said things go wrong when there's $1 billion on the elevator. That was all she said. It was all she needed to say, and she moved on.
Exactly.
I'm loving this day and age where artists are whole. Like you have artists that have mainstream artists that have OnlyFans. Mainstream artists.
And you know what else? We're seeing people carrying on their business. So what? Okay, I got that. But this is what I'm doing over here. Don't address that not unless you're giving me the coin over there.
Exactly. Because there are more than one. Listen, when I started and the Queen of Shade got born, those 15-second videos, in my grandmother's church hats and my shades. The reason why I changed hats so much was to illustrate that each and every person in the world wears a number of hats. To my grandmother, I'm her grandson. To my sister, I'm her brother. To my dad, I'm his son. You know, to my nephew, I'm his uncle. To my lover, I'm his sex god. But I am still the same entity.
Exactly.
Just operating at different capacities at different times. So this is me over here at OnlyFans. This is me over here singing. This is me over here interviewing. This is okay. And the world is accepting it because it's wholesome. It's whole now. They can tell and they can fucking get it. People are becoming rich right now because the public can see themselves in it now. It's not so far away anymore. It's right here. Now, artists and celebrities don't have to try to book an interview with a major magazine. They can go to their Instagram and release an announcement.
Exactly.
And it will travel the whole world and they will make their coin first before anybody makes a coin off of them.
Hello. And I tell people, I said, honey, and I told people this, I said, before I let tea slip about the priestess, Priestess tells her own tea.
Thank you. Thank you.
Case in point, being in the church, being in sex work.
Yes.
Doing all of these things. Yeah. Baby, I have nothing to hide. Right. They call me in the office and say, is this you? Yes, it's me. You like my handsy work? Okay, pop up that $8 subscription fee since you watched it. Cash out me. You got the ties and offer, text me. I saw you roll that blunt. How much that weed cost you? Okay, you can give me $25. Come on.
But you know what? I love it because now is the time for the real.
Exactly.
Real. We are real because a lot of us, listen, there's no shame. There should
Not at
be no
all.
shame. Listen, I am a firm believer that there are no wrongs in life. There are no rights. There are just decisions and consequences from the decision. So
Exactly.
consequences can be yay good or nay bad. And it's not even really that they're yay and nay bad. They're just what happens because of a decision that you make. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, if you have an OnlyFans and your boss finds out and you get fired. I'm not talking about that, because that is no, because my thing is, even with that, sweetheart, your boss is calling the fantasy girl line. He calling me. He calling me with his A1 credit at $3.99 and $4.99 a minute. But then he gonna condemn you for actually being out here, but he doing this, and it's an addiction to him. He calls 24/7, 365. He can't sleep unless he talk to me.
The main ones that's trashing the industry
Exactly.
are the main ones supporting it
Exactly.
from all walks of life.
Exactly.
And I tell people, I said, don't talk about sex work. If you watching adult entertainment, you go down there and watch your favorite girl twerk and slide down the pole. You've been supporting sex work this whole time. But matter of fact, if you're married, sometimes you have to resort to, you want your significant other to get you that bag or that new stove. You're gonna do all you can. You're gonna cook, clean, give them the business so they can give you that bag. Miss me with that. We all have, and excuse me what I'm about to say, if I can say this,
yes,
really
you
wrong.
gotta say it.
We all have to do whole shit sometimes to get what we want.
Listen, I didn't get that flat in Paris off my looks.
Hello.
Alone.
We had this discussion
I
long
didn't
ago.
yeah, we had this discussion. I didn't get that flat in Paris alone off my look. I was pretty, but baby, I wasn't that pretty.
Hello, I tell people, and I'm not encouraging nobody to do sex work. It ain't for everybody.
Because get it, you don't have to encourage it. Everyone is sexual. They're doing it without you saying it, baby.
Exactly.
You have to disclaimer that. You don't even have to disclaimer that.
And like you taught me and had me as the baby bird in the industry. I'm still the baby bird in the industry.
I was a baby bird too. I just that wisdom.
And I tell the younger ones that come to me with questions, Priestess, how can I do this? I said, I can only take you but so far, but I have someone else that's helping me. Ask them some questions.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the Queen of Shade is offering courses.
Yes.
Please go sign up for them.
Yes. Yes.
Because right now I'm not offering.
I can't wait till you do, because you have, this is what I love. You have years of teaching, years of making it relatable so that people can digest it. You are doing the exact same thing I'm doing. That's why we're not having a conversation like all the others where are you from? Where were you? But no. We just jumped into conversation.
Exactly.
Because this is what they need. This is
that was actually what I was expecting.
Right? But get this. Now this is the only segue I want to do, because I want them to understand. Church, sex work, you have legendary titles in the ballroom scene. Please. You are come on now. Because this is wearing many hats.
I am legendary in the Kiki scene of ballroom. I have a little bit of a name in the mainstream scene as well, which I am soon to return to ballroom.
You better return.
I had to take some time off to figure me out and get me together, because ballroom is a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
And it takes this.
Yes, it does.
Because when that ain't right.
Yes.
But one thing I learned from my mentors, the iconic Andre Mizrahi.
Yes.
The great Jack.
Yeah.
Mizrahi, Gorgeous Gucci.
Yes.
That your personal comes first. Your personal comes first. And I that was one thing that's been instilled in me. Even my father, Aladdin DeVille in the Kiki scene. Yeah. Personal first. Yeah. And that's one thing I instill. And as an auntie and godmother in ballroom, I tell the kids, baby, personal first. If your personal life ain't lining up, you gotta get it together before you walk in ballroom, because I'm not gonna let you walk a ball and you got rent due. You spending money on an effect, and you need let's prioritize. Because I didn't have all of that at first, but ballroom has helped me so much.
It has helped so many. It has helped so much.
And it's a lot of hats. It's a lot of hats.
Yes, and get this, I get so excited because now I'm seeing more of our masculine men walk ballroom. It has come to the front. It has come to the forefront. Legendary Max, come on now.
And they've been there. They've been there. But however, you know, with ballroom, it started out as a safe place for community.
Yup.
And it was done
Paris is burning.
by
Paris is
by
burning.
Black trans women, Black and brown trans women doing it. Let's look at the Stonewall movement.
Yep.
Black and brown women catapulted that. Granted, it's been whitewashed severely, but know your history. The likes of Marsha P. Johnson,
Yes.
iconic woman, Sylvia Rivera,
Yeah.
and Miss Majors.
Yes.
What more can we see? Even the late, great Monica Roberts.
Yeah.
So many names out there that have fought and allow us now. We have the Hope Giselles out there.
Yes.
We have people like myself. We have the Diamond Styles out there doing the thing. We have Visible T365 AJ Scruggs out there doing the work.
Hold on, I got a name: Shauna Brooks, Jamie Paris. I got it. Like, come on, we got wait. T.S. Madison, honey.
The iconic.
Okay, the iconic queen of all queens. Like, it's,
Honey.
but you know what I love? There's so, wait, and we got to go even, listen, we got to go even higher like you did. Angelica Ross, MJ Rodriguez, Dominique Jackson. Come on. Like, it is, once again, the world is accepting the beauty of our community.
And you know what? People like Sylvester James and countless other artists that we can, even in the gospel industry, that lived in stealth.
Yeah. Stealth. I like how you said that. That was nice.
That lived in stealth to get the job done. And we're finding all of this history out. And now I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What? And it's another way I could go, but I'm not gonna go there because I'm believing that on the interview. I will say that on my own house, in my own house.
Right.
Like you say, if I was in my own pulpit.
Right.
But just seeing how it is more in the open mics that I've done in recent years as a woman who happens to be of trans experience.
Yes.
I can tell the people's reaction when I walk into a room. Yeah. I gladly go in, order my dish, grab my glass of rosé.
Yes.
Yes, I might have like glasses like this on in a dark atmosphere because I may have just partook in some cannabis, which is very good. Amen. Yeah. But I get up there on that stage and give you the experience of the priestess. And it's like, whoa, you just took me to church, took me to the bedroom, helped me see the light. And I don't know how to feel. Yeah. Baby, I'm an experience.
Yes. Feel it all. Feel it all. It's like, don't just feel one thing anymore. We want you to use all of your emotions. You have all of your emotions. Since when have we've been conditioned to use one at a time? Since when do we use emotions one at a time?
Exactly. I said, no. And one thing I learned about being an artist, baby, when them emotions comes out, because this is why I don't need to sing Phyllis Hyman anymore in my lifetime.
Oh, I love Phyllis. You know, she's from my city.
Yes, exactly. And I have Julie from Philly.
Yes.
Baby, I sang Living All Alone one night.
Yeah.
I said, I would never sing the song again ever.
I love Meet Me. I love Meet Me on the Moon.
Meet Me on the Moon.
Yes.
I'm not gonna sing back this. I gotta say that for date night.
So listen. Before we started, a little birdie told me that you might be coming to the city of brotherly love.
Yes, yours truly will be moving to Philadelphia, darling. I'm grateful. This has been an opportunity that I ran from. Yeah. And this is the perfect opportunity. Doors. I can't go into detail yet about the doors. A lot of things I'm saving.
Yeah, not yet.
But so many doors have opened.
Yeah.
And it took me leaving the church.
Yeah.
To do so because church consumes so much of
your time, your energy, your person. Yeah.
And I said I gave so much to the church, but I don't have anything to show for it. Somebody said, no, baby. People are still talking about the day you left places that you sat in.
Yeah.
I said, oh, for real? I was like, yeah, you know that, right? Yeah. So now that I'm rebuilding my brand, rebuilding my platform, because I went through some changes with Priestess.
Yeah.
with everything and the doors that are opening, I'm just so grateful. And I always said, God, I don't want to have to work for nobody else in this season. And the way is being made. So I have some things that I'm working on before I get there, but I will be in Philly. And we're gonna have to talk over here because I'm working on something great for community.
Okay.
But I have some things that I'm putting together, even restructuring my Go Live as well. This is all happening, and I've already started working from DC concerning Philly. So really doors are opening up, and I'm excited because that is one of the musical capitals in the United States and in the world. So I'm excited to get into a new music scene. Because I've done the music scene here as far as church and locally. I want to explore because I do demand that doors open.
Yeah. Well, guess what? You won't be here alone. It has always been my thing to move to Paris. Oh, I plan to move to Paris and Lisbon, have a second home in Lisbon, and then something here in Center City. My grandmother and I were looking at a penthouse. We have to stay here and listen, we have to stay here because my business, my LLCs were forged here and I got to pay United States tax still here. So she said to me, baby, you might as well take work here in the country too. I was the type of person I thought I couldn't work here. No, you can work here. You are. I am. I got some things in the works too.
I'm looking at a certain country. I'm not going to tell.
You ain't gotta tell ya. You ain't gotta scoop yourself.
One thing we got to tell the children: move in silence. And no, it's not because of your haters. We give our haters too much credit. Baby, that's to protect your peace.
From all.
Don't be like Joseph and told too many dreams.
Now you being beaten and all of this stuff because you.
Child, they better be careful trying to beat me because I hit back, I bite back.
Me too.
See, people like us, we don't, the way
don't do it. I understand.
As individuals,
I understand.
We have a silent wrath.
It's intense.
We're not going to get you.
Nope.
Physically.
Nope.
But we're going to mess up your spirit.
Yep.
We're going to mess up your mental because you ain't going to know how we going to come. But we going to come. That's
what's happening right now. That's why I'm grinning from ear to ear because I'm like, baby, they never thought they'd see me on their soil.
Because, baby, Diary River Church, I did not know people were listening to Diary River Church, girl. I look at my numbers. But the things that people are saying, I said, ooh. And people are able to pinpick certain things. I was like, oh Lord.
I know, you gotta be careful because people know. They're like, oh, but wait a minute. And you're like, oh, I done told you.
Like, girl, wait a minute. But it's the things that you don't say. That people will eat up. And will recognize. That's why when you don't say nothing about your business, they think you ain't doing nothing, but I'm here. I've arrived.
Yep. And you know what I love? I love that I have arrived. Now and I was saying this in my other interview, people think, oh, because you don't have all this money now, you're not successful. No, baby, I did the work. The money now has to come to me because they owe me. I did the work. They owe they owe me. I said it in my last interview. Since when have you gone to a job and said, okay, yeah, I'm hired. Okay, now pay me now and I'll work for 2 weeks. No, you do the work first and then you get the check.
Exactly. Once you get to a certain level in your craft, that's when you get the advancements because people want to secure you.
I'm being secured, darling.
Hello. I'm being secured.
Secured.
Now, I do have questions for you.
Go ahead, come on.
Are there any collabs in the works?
Get this. Oh, yes. I'm glad you brought that up. Get this. I was speaking to my grandmother the other day. And I have been since the beginning, 2008, my music career, the beginning. I have been so anti-label. I'm going to do it on my own. And then I've watched and studied more of the industry. And the lack of work that artists want to put in, but want to be paid maximum dollars for. And I have realized that I now understand why the labels are how they are.
Exactly.
If I'm footing the bill for you and I'm putting millions of dollars into your career, hell yes, I'm gonna have you in the studio making all kinds of music. Then we not now, and then get this, then you decide to get cocky and show your ass, because I can say that. And now I gotta spend $1 million on publicity and damage control to clean up what you did. And you don't think I'm gonna recoup every single dollar before you even get a check from me? So hold on to that thought. I've realized through the divine that collaborations aren't as damning as I thought they were before. I've realized that if we go into a collaboration together, it can be a situation where we both benefit simultaneously. Get this, everybody doesn't even know this, but this, what we're doing right here is a collaboration. That's exactly why, get this, but get this, it gets deeper. That's why I send a copy when it's done, and then I send a release. And my release says, you, Priestess, you own 50% of this, I own 50% of this. When we put this out and use it and do all of this stuff, and we garner money, we just split it down the middle. Whatever you make, you give me half. Whatever I make, I give you.
Exactly, that's how we do. That's how we have to do.
And get this, it took a long time for me to become comfortable with that, because this was the thing. I kept seeing other people work with each other and fall out. And I'm like, 1 minute y'all love each other, 1 minute y'all this, y'all that, and then the next minute, F that nigga, damn his wife and his kid. I just saw that happen with 2 of my OnlyFans babies. And I'm like, the content was fire. I'm subscribed. I'm like, and then the next thing I know, they were live. Oh, you this, that, and the other, and drums and this and that. I'm like, and I literally had nightmares that night. I couldn't even sleep. I was so devastated. But I've realized maybe they didn't give each other as much time to get to know each other
as they should
have. You see?
That's why in that industry, I have been involved in the adult entertainment industry as an amateur for quite since we've known each other.
Yeah.
And just seeing how that works. That's why I thank God I did not go into mainstream like I wanted to at one time. Yeah. I've always been low key with it, but having I'm not going to say unfortunately, fortunately, having that experience and people knowing who the hell I am.
Yeah.
When you collaborate, first off, we're going to have several conversations.
Yes.
I'm going to have to get to know you. Okay. I need to see what I need to see, as far as paperwork and things like that. And actually have a potential collab in that arena as well. I'm like, okay, let's talk business.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Because you're using my likeness. Now, this is the entity we're doing this under. Don't,
you see, you saying a lot, you're not saying a lot. I love it. You saying a lot and not saying a lot. Your silence is saying a lot.
You get what I'm saying? Don't play dumb with me. Don't play coy with me. I'm about my money.
Yeah.
And run me my money.
Yes.
And you got to think like that. And matter of fact, I have a best friend. We wrote, they actually helped me write Sustaining.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. That was an iconic song for you too.
Yes, it is. It's my baby. It's my baby.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Okay. Some things I'm working on putting out soon.
Yeah.
They're shocked at that because I've done my own production mostly, and with Mini Me Beats as well, and working with them and not being afraid to branch out.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm with you there with the label. Because I was scared of labels and collaborating.
Yeah.
But now that we've met all of these great talents, it's like, okay, time to collab.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Because My grandmother said to me, when I said this to her and I sat down, she said to me, she said, baby, you're amazing by yourself, but you won't get rich by yourself. No one is an island. You are going to need, and it's going to take a collaborative effort. That's what she said to me last night. It's going to take a collaborative effort. And what I love is I'm meeting new people, but I've got older people that I've known. We've known each other. We can pick, child, don't play. Don't even start.
Hello.
Don't even start. But get this, it's coming. And it's a beautiful thing because just as I've learned from this platform, collaborations the world loves. The world loves to see their favorites do things together. But I also realize in mainstream, the labels have talked and vetted their artists. They know their artists. To be quite frank, their artists can't even wipe their own asses without them knowing. So they know the ins and outs of the artist. So that's okay. So it's this, let's do this. And it's set up, it's finessed, like breeding horses. There's a stable hand to hold the mare, one to hold the stallion. You know, there's a lot of things going on in that. And I interviewed an international recording artist, name is Jamai is his name. And he just dropped his new project 23 and it's amazing. And I've known him for years. And that man can sing. When I tell you he's beautiful, muscular, chocolate, but he can sing. He can sing. He was on The Voice. He's done a lot of things in his career. And, you know, he was telling me he just bought his house. And, you know, there's a lot of things. He headlined his own tour in China. Like people are really doing things. And I said that to say this, like now that we're kind of all getting to know each other through this shared space of the internet, we're actually getting to really know each other. We see each other upset, angry. We get to see every facet of each other. So then we collaborate and it just goes seamlessly. Like, honestly, look at this. If I was against it, look at this. The Lord stretching my faith and belief. This is my 163rd collaboration.
Oh, wow.
I've done 106. Yep, you are 163. This is my 163rd collaboration. Look at that. The girl that thought she'd never collaborate because she was afraid. Because she was afraid of what it might mean, of what it might mean. And I've done it 163 times. So God let me know, collaborations are in your future.
Exactly. And I do believe even, and it's funny because I had stopped OnlyFans, listening to someone else.
Don't listen. Don't stop
because it was an access issue, but that's no story for another day. But it's like, wow, I'm back here. But I said, you know what? I can do it on my terms now. Because I don't have the looming threat of paparazzi from the church.
Right.
I'm not even worried about family because I'm grown. Like,
And
I didn't seen y'all stuff on some of these. Try me.
Right. So tell me, just a sidebar question real quick. Do you still have your dog?
Yes, I still have Bentley. Yes. He's gotten older.
Is he? I was getting ready to say.
Oh my gosh, I've had him since 2015.
Oh, okay.
So dog years, he's like in the 50s, 60s area. But that's my baby though.
I remember the videos where he would be in the back and you'd be like, you would be talking to him and he'd be looking at you, he'd be like, Bentley, I'm trying to drive. Like, you know.
So now when I call home, his ears perk up. He knows it's me on the phone. And when I go visit, he'll look at me, roll his eyes, and then he'll give me a hug. I was like, oh, you are shady.
Right. It's like, well, I left you provided for, you know, like
exactly.
I left you in good hands. They don't care about that. He like, child, I don't care about that.
Exactly.
I want to be with you.
But when I eat, he wants to eat my food. I'm like, Bentley, I can't give you this, son. What's your problem?
Yeah, I have a new cat. Like I went with a calico, short hair, because you know I had them Persians. I love Persians, but just not yet. They require a lot more maintenance than I can give because of my workload. So I got me a little short hair calico. She's amazing. She was a rescue. It took her. We've had her 9, 10 months now. And it's just so beautiful to see that she went through trauma in the inner city of Philadelphia. And then, but she wasn't feral. So that we got her. And I just, every day I see her name is Poppy, like the flower. I run my hands down her body, and that gets her used to being touched. She'll let me pick her up. And what I love about her is she don't eat people food. I love that. I love that.
Oh, yes.
She has a set, I was always that way though. May not have a Persian, but set diet. She only
exactly
eats thing. I don't feed too much wet food. I don't do all of that, so she has a set food. And we had, because we live right here next to like a wooded area. So we had mice coming in. Child, this cat, she'd kill him coming in the wall and leave him at the foot of the stairs. I'm down there stepping on bodies. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh gosh.
But I praise her. Yeah, I praise her.
Bentley started doing that.
Yeah, I praise.
It's something about fur babies. I always told myself, once I get settled in Philly, if I don't get a dog or something, I'm thinking about just breaking down and getting me a Chihuahua. Something small. I can carry in my bag or something, go to the park and meet a husband, things like that.
Yes.
That's the last thing on my mind. But oh my gosh, I do want to ask you.
Yes.
What are you getting into outside of work? I need to know before we get up there, because I'm hitting some clubs. I'm letting you know now.
Listen, my life is work. I don't really club. I'm a woman of a particular age. Even when I was younger. Look at your face. I knew you was gonna do it. That's why I didn't look up.
We are in the same age range. Don't play with me. Now I'm gonna bring you out of that.
Listen,
we're gonna get you out of that.
You know what it is? I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to go anywhere and be in the crowded space in the dark. I'm the type of person where I love to meet people for brunch. It's sunny when I get there and sunny when I leave.
Hello.
Because, we have to doing this. We're not too sure about everybody that watches us and how they feel about what they're seeing. So I needed to be like, my family doesn't allow me to go anywhere by myself. I'm driven everywhere. I know it may sound like, a luxurious life, but honey, I work for this life. But it's just, I'm just not that girl. I'm just not that girl. And honestly, I will say this, I plan to do it more in Europe because the constraints aren't there as much.
Exactly. That's why I want to leave the US. Big time.
Yeah.
But
all the girls are moving out, honey. All the girls are moving out.
Exactly. And it's wild because I go out a lot by myself.
Yeah.
But I have protection, with me at all times. So, because I'm like, even walking today, it's like, oh, men are gross.
Yeah.
Oh, they're nasty.
I get it. They're not just gross. When they feel like you're going to reject them, they get violent and murderous. I'm not for all of that. I earned this title. I'm not about to be scrapping in the street because I said no or didn't look your way. So I'm just like, I'm just not. People ask me, when are you going to break your celibacy? It's not even, I've been telling people, it's not even that that I'm holding out for something. I just like escorts. And one of my babies who I interviewed, who's an escort, his name is Sonny. Show me the money. He said, I don't even get paid for sex. He says, I get paid to leave. He was like, they paid, like I'm being paid because I know how to show up, do my job and get out of the way so that they can continue to do their life.
Exactly.
And I love that. I've been saying that for years now. I love escorts. I love them. I love them.
And look, learning how to play that role, honey, it's like, y'all look.
Plus I'm a man anyway.
Look, look, I'm going to use what I got. And people's like, well, you shouldn't have to do that. No, baby. This is a commodity to get with this. Yeah. With my voice. This is a commodity. Everybody can't have access to my voice.
Everybody can't have access to this. No, I was going to say, and I love being a madam. I love being the one, Got all the keys, to the doors. And
it's fun. It's a fun. And you know what? I'm loving this conversation. I really am. Also, I did want to ask. I know this is unconventional, but I ask questions. Go
ahead. I love it.
So I know this is gonna be controversial.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you listen to rap like that.
I appreciate certain artists.
Okay. So with today's society, Cardi or Nicki, I gotta know.
You know what? I'm both.
Ah!
I'm both. Like, honestly, I'm both. There is room. The world is abundant. There is room for both of them. And I love them both down.
Exactly.
You could never, if you said to me, there's a Nicki concert and a Cardi concert on the same night, where are you going? I'm staying in.
See, I will be torn. I like them both. I like them both. There, and you're right. There's room for more than one
There's
MC.
room.
I would be torn with. I'm like, you know what? Somebody just send me the footage from one because I got to be at one or the other. I need to dance either way.
No, I'm staying in. I'm staying in because, and their attitude, and they'll say to me, Queen, why didn't you come? Because two of you had a concert on the same night, which was stupid. Talk to your publicist and your concert come people, because they shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have had a concert the same night as her. The industry works together. See, that's where I'm going. The industry works together. Why wasn't there a memo sent out? Like, no.
And I hate that. I hate that because there's been times to where there were two events that I had on the same day. I'm headlining for both.
Yeah.
I couldn't do my meet and greet after, so I had to do it before. I've had to run for one venue, run to another, then be gone in enough time to catch a flight because I have a ball that I'm going to. Then have to come back. At the time pastoring, had to go play at one service, go preach at another one. Only that night I have a performance at another club.
Listen, I'm not, this industry still thinks a star is a slave. I'm not for it. I will do things that edify me. If I yawn and they ask me, will you come and do this? I'm literally going to say, how do I feel? And I'm going to literally deliberate with all sides of myself. Do we feel like doing this? Could be fun. Possibly. But it runs kind of late. Not tonight. That's me.
Exactly.
That's me. I need literally, I have a calendar now. And that's one thing about running a business. This. I have a calendar. So my calendar is in advance. Like, I don't have, I was so happy to get you because I didn't know what you were doing. And I was like, okay, well, I gotta get the Priestess in here because I saw your TikTok and I saw you talking about, the different things. You mentioned it earlier. And I was like, you're like, listen, we're not doing that. You're not doing this. Like, we're doing this. And because boo-boo, I'm not laying down with you if you ain't got your own bag. Like, you got to have your own bag. You got to do some things and build together. That's what it was. And I was just like, and it just gave me so much life that I just reached out. And see, I can say that I enjoy that. I enjoy that luxury that I've worked so much that my community loves me. So I can say, quickly give you a couple days, 2 days, 3 days, and say, can you do this for me? And then most people say, absolutely.
Oh, as soon as I got the message, I said, "Oh yes."
It was long overdue.
Why not?
It was long overdue.
Yes, yes.
We haven't talked like this in years, and
it's been a long time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's been years. It was before I started off. Before I even started charging for mentoring.
Exactly.
Before. But you know what it was though? Even back then, I had a need to keep us safe. There was a need to keep us safe.
Exactly.
I know the heart. Listen, I know the horror stories. I'm friends with the men that have the horror stories. I don't want the horror stories.
Oh no, and
horror stories.
Having those horror stories.
Yeah.
It's amazing to know people that are going through some of the same experiences that I'm going through in spaces. I'm like, ooh, even being a musician.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, girl, we really doing this? Okay, just have my money ready.
Right.
You're gonna pay me for playing for you, okay?
Right.
In one way or the other.
Yeah, right.
So hand me my money. We can go legally.
Hand me my money. Hand me my money, or we're gonna do this OnlyFans real quick. You and your face.
Oh, no, not only that. Be like, do a black one have to take her earrings off about a coin? Okay,
right.
So.
Oh, see, and you know what I love too? I'm ending that. Oh, she's difficult. No, she's not difficult. Look at the work she does. She did it. It's hers. So you have to accommodate her. You have
And
to
I've
accommodate.
and I've learned that's why they say a lot of artists are hard to deal with or difficult.
Mm.
No, 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 no. You're mad because you can't run over. So I'm not being
Yes.
difficult.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
they say that a lot about women, about
Yeah.
the
Yes.
feminine energy. No, we're not being difficult.
Mm-mm.
You're not about to sit here and play on our time.
Mm-mm. And you're going to pay me for my time. And you're going to pay me well. And I'm not showing up the night of to collect it. You're going to pay me long. If we don't have trust and you can't pay me 2 weeks in advance and trust that I know on my calendar where I have to be, we're not doing nothing, because that means you don't trust me.
Exactly.
And then that means if you don't trust me, why should I trust you? Mm-mm.
Oh, and I've learned that as an artist
Yeah.
as well. Pay
Yeah.
me my money.
You got to
The
be brass tack. You got to be real brass tack.
Oh yes.
Mm.
Even doing work for an artist overseas,
Mm.
Soul on Fire by Boris Grand.
Yeah.
I'm doing the lead vocals on that.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, when you get ready to do your cover, you have full permission to do so.
Right.
Okay, baby. So mama's about to get to work.
Right. And then you say to him, oh, by the way, baby, I know you love me, but can I get that in writing?
Oh yes.
Mhm.
I'm renegotiating some contracts now as we
Yeah.
speak,
Yeah.
with individuals. And one thing I will advise my young people, make sure all you need to know about the music industry, the latest edition.
You gonna flip out. By Donald Passman.
Hello,
Get this.
this gonna help you.
Get this.
And I don't know if I was supposed to share that, but
No, you were. All you need to know about the music business by Donald S. Passman.
yes,
You gonna
I
get.
went in.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You tell it, because then I'm gonna drop it.
I went in and went back to reading one particular chapter. I said, so I'm in the right place.
Yup. Yup. Absolutely right. Get this. I spoke to Mr. Passman personally. He gave me a short list of lawyers. He got me my lawyer. I've spoken to him personally twice. Showed him what I could do and where I wanted to go. And he said, well, then you need an excellent lawyer.
Exactly.
My lawyer's out of Fresno, California, and
Oh yes.
Mr. Passman made that happen for me.
Oh yes.
You see? It's a whole new level, baby. It's a whole new level when you believe in yourself.
It took me being homeless for a month.
Yeah.
It took me being homeless to get the tools that I need. So get ready to look out for some big things from the Priestess and the Queen of Shade as well.
Listen, tell everybody, first of all, before we get to that, give me 3 words that inspire and empower you. You knew this was coming.
Oh, 3 words that live, love, be free.
Live, love, and be free. Okay. All right.
That's been my tagline for years.
Right. Okay. Now tell everyone where they can find you all over social media, everywhere you want to be found. Give it to us.
Hey, you can find me on social media, all social media as Yannick T Music. You can also find the podcast, CWT Priestess, on everything. YouTube Conversations with the Priestess. You can find me on TikTok, Yannick Taylor. Also, I have music available on Bandcamp.
Yes.
I'm actually preparing to pull everything down from streaming services.
Okay. Oh, you got a real serious makeover.
Yes. So, but there are gonna be a few things still up.
Yeah.
So y'all can still see my presence.
Yeah.
I'm working on some things greatly, but don't forget to check out Diary of a Church Girl, which is on Conversations with the Priestess, the podcast. Yeah.
And that podcast is where? Is it on like all streaming?
It's on all podcast streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify. So for everybody, y'all go to Spotify.
Yeah.
Black owned.
Yeah. Spotify.
So
I have had an amazing moment with you.
I've enjoyed this conversation dearly.
God, I just look forward to us I celebrate us. If I had a glass of
Yes.
If I had a glass of champagne, I would be toasting to us
Oh,
because
I'll be able to do that soon.
yeah, like it's just we need to. Like I had one baby, he's an adult entertainer. His name is Papi Suave. He's Puerto Rican and beautiful and and I hadn't been in the city in 3 years because I don't go down there. But he came from LA. He's like, I have to see you. So I left my abode and get this, he was already in the city. Because he's muscular. He came up on the train that connects us to the city and met me, rode down to Center City with me. We took him to a Caribbean restaurant. We had really good food. Oh, it was really good food. And then his stop was before mine, but he rode all the way to the end to make sure my grandmother had picked me up in the car and then got back on the train to go back down to where he had to get off. Like people understand my need to feel safe. That's an issue. I have a need to feel safe.
And I'm learning that navigating life as a Black woman,
yes,
and navigating it as a trans woman,
yes,
whew, it is something out there because I've been in some situations, and oh my goodness, like, and I thank God for the people that I have in my life that are protected, and everybody needs protection at some point.
Yes.
But I thank God even for the artistic and business protection I have, even with some things that have happened in personal life that kind of spilled over into social media, and I had to put a qualm on that as well. So, but I still have protection,
Yeah, I am so proud.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you. So proud of the woman you've become. So proud of where you're going, the journey. And it's not by happenstance that you're moving to the same city that I'm in.
It's not. It's not. We're gonna have to talk about that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah.
And thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I can't even put it into words as to how great this is. Excuse the noise. I'm just grateful and humbled. And that lets me know I'm in the right place. And just to sit up here with my mentor and my sibling.
I just didn't want us to get got. I just didn't want us to get got. I couldn't clean that up. I just did not want us to get got. Okay.
Look, because I thought I was gonna get got a few times.
I thought I was gonna get got a couple of times still. Okay. Okay. The Lord, what did he say? A way of escape. A way of escape.
Hello. He provided it.
Yes, he did. All right, don't go nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of the Priestess, Yannick Taylor. Don't go nowhere. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. Love y'all.
Yeah, don't go nowhere. So did you enjoy? I hope you did. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to cash at me at the Queen of Shade. I am your favorite content creator, right? Right. You want to see more of this content, right? Right. Cash at me. I love you. Mwah.
I've got my black stilettos on. Don't you make me take them off. I'm assuming first position. Gonna show you I'm a boss. I've been given 60 seconds just to put my thing